So today we're looking at sections 10.5 and 10.7, which is going to cover the surface area and volume for pyramids. 10.5 and 10.7 is also going to cover cones, but so if you have a highlighter, highlight pyramids. We're going to look at a couple examples, starting with example 1. We're going to find the surface area of a regular square pyramid. And the base edge is going to have a length of 5 centimeters and a slant height of 6 centimeters. Pyramids are kind of unique in that the base can change. The base can be a square, could be a triangle, could be a hexagon, octagon, okay? So when you go to draw them, if you know what shape the base is, draw that first. This one's going to be a square. So that's the first thing we're going to draw. We're going to draw a square. And that's going to be the base of our pyramid. Then we're going to come up above it and put an opposite vertex. And then just connect up to that guy. That one's going to be the back one. Okay, so there's your pyramid. Now let's fill in some measurements here. It says has a base edge length of 5 centimeters. So we know that this is 5 centimeters, and it's a square. So guess what? They're all 5 centimeters, right? And then it has a slant height of 6 centimeters. So the slant height is going to go from the center of one of the sides up to the top here. That's our slant height. And it's, what did I say, 6? 6 centimeters. So we've got a square pyramid, and we're going to find the surface area. So if you look on your formula sheet, we just wrote it down. It's 1/2 the perimeter of the base times slant height plus the area of the base. So when we go to plug in our numbers, we need to plug in the perimeter of the base, we need to plug in the slant height, and we need to plug in the area of the base. One of these we already have. What is it? Slant height, right? That was given. It's 6, so we can fill it in there. So we just need to get the perimeter and the area. All right, so if this is a square and one of the sides is 5, what's the perimeter going to be? 20, right? You just go 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. You should get 20. So that plugs in there. And we need the area. How do you find the area of a square? You square it, right? Square it. So you take 5, you square it, so you should get 25 centimeters squared. That plugs in here. Okay? Once you have all your numbers substituted in there, just grab your calculator. You can multiply 20 times 6 and then divide by 2, or you can change this to 0.5 and then multiply it times 20 times 6. You should get 60. And then we're going to add the 25, so you've got 85. What are the units on this pyramid? Centimeters what? Squared or cubed? Squared, because we're still talking surface area. Okay. Any questions on example number 1 there? All right. So let's try one with a triangular base. So example number 2, we're going to get the surface area of a regular triangular pyramid. going to have a base edge of 4 inches. And a base height. And a base height of 5 inches. And then it's going to have a slant height of 10 inches. We need a little more information for example number 2 than we did for example number 1 because the base is different, right? In example number 1, the base was a square, so we only needed one side. But for example number 2, the base is a triangle. And so think about the area formula for a triangle. You need more information, right? Okay, so let's start by drawing a triangle for the base. We know that it has a base edge of 4 inches, so we'll go 4 inches over here, and it has a height of 5 inches. So we need that height to get the area of that triangle. We also know that that triangle is regular, meaning all 3 sides are what? Congruent. So if this is 4 inches, this is 4 inches, this is 4 inches. We need that because we need the perimeter, right? So we're going to need to know that information. So we come up here above the triangle and we make it into a pyramid. And then the last piece of information is that slant height of 10 inches. So from here, I'm just going to dash in a slant height of 10 inches. Okay. Same formula as example number 1. We've got 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height plus the area of the base. So we know the slant height, we can plug it in here, but we need to get the perimeter and the, whoops, I didn't mean to write that, B, I meant to put parentheses so we can plug it in. All right, so we know the slant height, it's 10. We just need to get the perimeter and the area of the base. So perimeter of that triangle is going to be 4 plus 4 plus 4. What's that? It's going to be 12, right? 12 is going to get us our perimeter. And the area of that base is this triangle down here. What's the area formula for a triangle? Right? Base times height divided by 2, right? So we've got 4 and 5 divided by 2. So you should get 10 inches squared. How did I get 10? Oh, 12. Okay. That's 10. All right, now we got all of our values plugged in, so we're going to type it in the calculator. I'm going to change that 1/2 to 0.5, multiply it by 12, multiply it by 10. I got 60 plus this other 10, so 70, and this one is in inches squared. Any questions on example number 2? All right, I'll move this up. You'll see it in just a second, and then we're going to try some volume. Example number 3, we're going to find the volume of a rectangular pyramid. So for a rectangular pyramid, we need a width of 18 meters and a length of 11 meters. We're also going to do a height of 23 meters. Because for the volume formula, we don't need slant height, we need regular height. So basically, we've got all the information we're going to need. Since the bottom is a rectangle, let's start by drawing that rectangle down here. And for the rectangle, we've got a width and a length of 18 and 11. So I'll go 18 here, 11 here. We're going to need, what do we need? Just the area of that. So we'll multiply it in just a second. Then we also need the height. So from the center of that rectangle up to the opposite vertex, it's 23 units. Then from each of these vertices up, that's going to create our pyramid. Okay. So the easiest way to draw them is to draw, if you know the configuration of the base, draw that first. All right. So the formula for the volume of a pyramid is going to be 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So we need to get the area of the base, but the height we already know, so we can just plug in that 23 right there. And then the only one left to plug in is the area of the base, which is this rectangle right here. So we're just going to multiply 11 times 18. I got 198. I think the easiest way to do this one on the calculator is to take 198, multiply it by 23, and then divide by 3. Sometimes it'll get you a decimal when you're dividing by 3, but in this case I got 1,518, and the units are meters. Meters what? Cubed, because we're on volume now, so we need to change it to cubed. Any questions on example number 3? All right, one more, example 4. This one is a square pyramid, so we're going to find the volume of a square pyramid. We need a base edge of 9 centimeters and a height of 14. Since the base is just a square, it's a little bit easier. Don't need as much information, right? Because all 4 sides are going to be congruent. So if this one's 9, they're all 9. 9, 9, not that it matters, okay? And it has a height. So from the center of that square, going all the way up to the vertex, we'll put it here, is 14. All these are in centimeters. Connect them up. Okay, so let's start with our formula. Formula is 1/3 area of the base times the height. So we need to calculate the area of the base, which should be super easy. And the height they gave us is 14. Area of the base, it's just a square, right? So we're just going to take that 9 and multiply it by 9. So 9 squared, I got 81 plugs in here. So with your calculator, multiply 81 times 14, then divide it by 3. I've got 378. This one should be in centimeters cubed.